Greetings, dear ones. It is Friday, March 20th, the first day of spring. Came in around 10 o'clock this morning, East Coast time. And um, there's a lot going on, of course, in the world. But as we can see here, at least in this area of the United States, the little buds and the little blooms. And my first sign of spring always is the dandelions. There's two little spots in my front yard. I don't know where they came from, but when they pop up, it is announcing spring always, and they showed up about 3 days ago. So even if we weren't looking astronomically at the positioning of the moon and the earth and the sun, there would be very evident signs that spring has come forward or is coming forward, blooming, starting to bloom, and the little buds, and much of what was in the dark in the soil is coming up to the surface and coming out. And so too with us in our winter time going in. Hopefully you had opportunities to go into the cave of your world, your internal world, and therein discover, uncover, reveal to yourself parts of you and aspects of you that then hopefully went through a process of transformation, or ideally transmutation, and bringing that now forward. There are so many signs and energetics and ancient ways that are telling us to move forward, move forward, move forward. Even though with what's going on, it appears that we are moving backwards in many ways, and or regressing, as well as just maybe in a stagnant, maybe feeling in a stagnant or stuck place, because it seems so unsurmountable, the problems, the changes, the powers that be, whether it's in our country or other countries, with leaders deciding without the people. And so it can feel very disempowering. It can make people feel very helpless and hopeless. And yet, nature keeps on conveying the resilience not only of the land and systems within nature, but that's a reflection of us humans, our bodies, our beings. I have, for let me put it this way, given the depth of the work that I do with clients, their depth uncovers experiences as children that are horrific. Yes, for the most part. I have clients who tend to be coming from very abused situations, abused families, and then I have many others that have great difficulty in being able to source the root of the current presenting challenge in their life, because to their mind they had a very good childhood, great parents, etc., until we start looking a little bit more closely at what exactly a parent needs to give, convey, provide, create for a child. And again, we can, look at that and see how there's such subtlety, there's such internal pain or confusion or um, fear or anger, even produced by what these people in power in our little worlds are doing, and they are not taking us into account. They are not making those choices for and on our behalf. And of course, we are seeing this on a larger scale. And when we are children in those situations, we absolutely do not have any power. We do not have any leverage. We do not have any say so. We do not have any um, way to make them wake up or see or do what they're supposed to for us. And we are utterly and completely trapped in that situation for many years to come. Ergo, the defense system and all that it has to do in order for us to be able to survive within that. And again, taking that framework and looking at the world right now, it can feel that same way. It can feel as if we don't have any power, we don't have any say so. There, we have no leverage, and we are trapped in whatever governmental system we're in. And yet, that is the whole point of not only our woundings and the experiences that we have as children, but then to transmute or transfigure or even metamorphosize those experiences, and as adults know that that is absolutely not true. Not only to know it, but to absolutely feel in your internal world, in your being, that you can do anything, you can be anything, you can create anything. And that is what my clients come to, as a matter of fact. But the sensation that it's going to take a long time out in the outer world, that everything that is being broken down in such drastic ways is going to take a great deal to build again. And that is actually the whole point, is to not build it again, but to build anew. And again, it seems like whether it's in our country or other countries, or whether it's in regard to the environment, or whether it's in regard to, the backtracking to fossil fuels and old ways of owning resources, and continuing to put filth and garbage and dangerous chemicals, etc., in our air, in our water, in our food, to benefit the few. And, again, it would seem we have to slog through the whole process of voting and getting these other people in, and the arguing and seeing if they can undo and redo everything that's been dismantled and destroyed in our country. But that would take God knows how long, 100 years. This point in time, we are developing and have the opportunity to bring forward what the ancients called magic, and what we sometimes refer to as science, because there are things that are going on that are breaking our understanding of the laws of physics, that are completely undoing our belief as to when humanoids, or rather when Homo sapiens started being prevalent on the planet, how the ancient cultures did things, and discovering more and more underneath some of the great structures of the world, such as in Egypt. So, as I've said many times before, the ancients are coming forward, And when and as you explore deeply and discover and transmute or transfigure these apparent wounds, only childhood issues, you are then able, or what happens is portals open within you to these, potentially to ancient civilizations, to other existences from other worlds and realms and kingdoms, which then allows you to channel in the energetics, the abilities, the magic, the science from that other existence, from that other world. And that will allow for what I refer to as magical. And by magic or magical, to me, that entails a, a solution or an ending to concerted effort by someone. No, I wouldn't take that back. Not concerted effort, but when you're using magic, you're bringing focus, you're bringing, it to a point, whether it's, the old word was intention, but intention brings in will and mind. And this current way of creating is based purely in desire and wishing and dreams. And even within those, these desires and wishes and dreams that we have are within our comprehension. We can come up with the idea of how we would like our lives to be. We can wish into place a feeling of joy and freedom every day, not by forcing it, but literally wishing it into being. And then with magic, that entails, or it involves, or involved in magic is a solution or an ending or a completion of that wish beyond what you could have imagined, beyond what you could have dreamed up, beyond your wildest dreams. And that's magic, and that it happens instantaneously. And we are coming into a time where the miracles and magic of the ancients is simply now applied physics, applied the physics of consciousness, let's put it that way, wherein we are soon at a point where we are able to move matter, to, like, again, I'll refer back to Star Trek, like the equipment that they have on Star Trek, where it literally changes matter from one thing into another. And our ability to heal instantly. Greg Braden has been speaking about this method of, healing thyself for a long time. And having our intuitive and our higher sense perception so utilized throughout the day and in every way. And these are just will be standard operating procedure of the evolved human. And one would say, oh my god, that's way in the future. Well, it's not. Again, looking at some of the breakthroughs in science. The other day came across progress in regard to oral insulin, so that people will not be having to use injections anymore. I'm trying to pull up some of the, solar energy transforms polystyrene waste into valuable chemicals using sulfur. And that's been one of my things for the longest time. Polystyrene, or the containers that they used to give you food in, and still do in many other countries. It's prohibited in our state of New Jersey, and some other states have now outlawed it, but it's still around. And it, under normal circumstances or with knowledge of the past that we've had, it will take a couple hundred years for it to break down. Here's a method of doing so within a very short period of time, and bringing forth something beneficial from it. But if that isn't lining someone's pocket or making someone rich, then it's not going to be a chosen method unless and until we, the people, say, this is what we want. We hear about it, we know about it, we're investing in it, we're requesting our government representatives to, uh, you know, approve any laws that involve the recycling or the process of. We can do this. We can do it on a state level. We can do it on a township level. We can do it on a county level. And then eventually it will be reflected on a federal basis. Um, so, as I said, that great line from Thor, the movie, where he says, your ancients called it magic, you now call it science. I come from a place where they are one and the same. That is what we're moving into and what we are becoming. Um, so now, as we're moving out of winter, out of the dark, out of the introspection, out of the planting of the seeds and um, ideas and what it is that we would like to have in our lives, what we would like to experience in our lives, what we would like to our world to be. And now, from those roots, from, I have some things that keep showing up year after year, even though they're supposed to be annuals. I think that's the right term. That you have to plant them all the time. But when I don't put, chemicals or force anything on my property in my yard, and they seem to then be able to rejuvenate themselves. They come from things that I haven't even planted. So this consistency and the coming from the deep roots, I think a lot of that actually here in New Jersey may have to do with the drought conditions that we've been in for so long. And so roots are dropping very, very deeply to then be able to grow very, very quickly. And I've seen that in my trees, that after a couple years of drought, I literally had trees growing 10 feet in one season, which normally would grow 1 to 2 feet. So these are all representations of what can happen in nature and a reflection of our own systems and how we can grow exponentially, or things can happen without our seeming toil and trouble. And that underneath, in the dark soil, in the deep earth, there is movement, there is change going on for it to then surface. And the more you are able to do this within yourself, the deeper you're able to go. And that's, when I refer to the work that I do with clients one on one, we are going to the root of the root. And in that, have then the level of transfiguration, or the transmutation and transfiguration, is again exponential, because as below so above, as above so below. Just checking my notes. We are, yesterday was the 19th. We had a new moon coming in, and indicating new moon in Pisces, which I do not know astrology, but I do know that is has been spoken of by many astrologers as a sign of new beginnings and dreaming. So now is the time, maybe, find a spot in your home where the sun streams in, and close your eyes and just take the opportunity for the energies that are here and the energies in your life, the energetics, or listen to this or any of the other videos that I have on YouTube. There's on my channel, A Healer's Universe. There are probably 150 different videos, and they were weekly, as they are again now, for a long, long time. So you can look through and just find some of the springtime or, this time of the year, March. They're all listed by dates. And the energetics that are in there are still not only viable, but absolutely in accord with your system. So say you're looking through the videos and there's an image that pops out at you, or the title to one of the videos, then that's the one that's calling you. And you can you can listen to the ingredients, let's say, within the Alchemical Crucible, and maybe those circumstances and those occurrences were from 3 years ago, but some of the core aspects of human nature and our own personal journeys, our own personal discovery and expansion may very well still be part of that, not only that point in time, but this point in time. So you can listen to just the transmissions or the deep dive, and it will be exactly the right combination of energetics and helpers, etc., for your system, because this is absolutely not uniform, and that's very, very strongly a part of this evolutionary process. And that is absolutely key and vital and formative in the proprietary process when I'm working with clients. It is not about tools. It is not about a way. It is not about a method. It is about your way. It is about you discovering who you are and bringing that forward in every way without effort. Because once it has gone through that process of transmutation and transfiguration, you are now living from that. I had a client here yesterday, and she was just, she's, I'm so surprised every single time I come. I never, expect it to go in that direction. I never expect that piece to come forward, and yet I walk out of here with a completely new paradigm. I come out of here after each session with a different me. I am now more wholly and completely who I am and in my stance, and she refers to it as in her seat. And again, that wasn't by learning and figuring out ways to change your behavior or adjust when someone does something or says something. Those are, sorry to say, old hat. They're wonderful if you're just starting out and discovering how your internal world is, showing up in the outer world and what you can do to adjust a bit. But for those souls that are here for a large project, here for advanced level work, if you will, advanced level soul expansion, then those are not applicable anymore. The adjustment, every new trend, this is what we're doing today, now we're regulating ourselves. It's all means of control. It's all trying to control yourself, control your system. That's what medications do. And why every other ad on the television is some means of controlling, whether it's supposedly a dis-ease or whether it's an emotional aspect of us or our mental state. It's still all controlling and keeping it under wraps, keeping it in a manageable way, in a handleable way. And that is what we've been doing on a larger societal basis for too long, which is why we're in such a radical moment of growth and a leap of evolution. Um, so, yes, I'm not throwing out the baby with the bathwater. As we're moving forward at this point in time of spring, it is a wonderful thing to, and at any time of the year, to wake up in the morning and design your day. And that doesn't mean step by step and project by project. It means today I will be full of vitality. Today I will move from joy. Today I will be experiencing surprises and opportunities that I couldn't have foreseen, whatever it may be. But you get to design. Um, Remember, this is now a question of applied physics of consciousness. And again, physics is showing us day after day after day that we create the reality. Just checking my notes and seeing what else is helping us. Of course, today being the start to spring, we have the equinox, and we have the sun entering Aries. We have, and again, these are just little pieces of information astrologically because I do not work astrology, but I do know how it feels when certain planets are coming forward. And in this particular instance, Mercury is moving forward. Now, Mercury has gotten a bad rap, and Mercury retrograde has gotten a worse rap. But Mercury is about, it relates to the Philosopher's Stone and knowing thyself. Mercury is also was referred to as Quicksilver. And Mercury aids us in being able to make changes very, very quickly, and again, kind of in that magical way. So call on Mercury, feel into Mercury, feel the speed of it. Because it's the smallest planet, it spins much faster than any other. So we are talking about a great deal of speed. And here on the equinox, and it is said that there are equal portions of light and night, or day and night. Not exactly accurate, again, astronomically, but more so to me, what stands out is the fact that at certain points throughout the year, the earth or the moon is in shadow or in light. Of course, we recognize that and experience that every day with the moon. The sun is shining on it, or it is not, and then the moon is not visible, and we have day. So really allow for that. Both shadow and light are always with us. They're always here. They're always within us. And again, utilizing the dark of winter to then bring forward or come forth or have buds and sprouting occurring out of that darkness. This is also a powerful time, of course, for cleansing. Both in the spring and in the fall is a great time to do any physical cleansing. But certainly, spring cleaning is not anything new. It has been done throughout history because, again, we were very much inside. There were candles or oil in the past, which created a lot of dirt. We weren't going outside a lot in the climates that were cold, so things accumulated, and this was a wonderful time to throw open the doors and windows and be able to clear out all of that accumulated dirt throughout the winter season. And so we can do that now with our own internal spring cleaning and spring cleaning of our homes, spring cleaning of our offices, spring cleaning of our lives. And that cleansing and decluttering and removing that which is um, stagnant, or that which is impeding that forward movement, we can see on a larger scale. It looks like destruction, but if you tune in and feel into it as a process of cleansing, we are cleansing these aspects of our world, our government, our human nature, our human way of being. So look at it as that instead of, oh my gosh, everything is falling apart, which in a sense it is. Well, in reality it is. But it is a cleansing, a getting rid of, a dismantling of the old ways, the old structures. Um, just looking, just remembering, today also we had earlier this week a huge coronal mass ejection of the sun, huge, that was directed at the earth. They're not always, we can still detect them and monitor them and sight them, but they're oftentimes going out into space or in another direction. This one was coming straight at the planet, straight at the earth. And so for many people, tonight, the 20th, and tomorrow night, Saturday, the 21st, you will be able to see northern lights much further down than what was previously, much further south than previously on a regular basis. If you look on my page later, a um, there's a post regarding not only the auroras. I think it also gives us some of the locations, but we had another blast of solar energy. So we may be able to see them even here, I'm hoping, in New Jersey, or further, at least in the Midwest. Um, just checking. And another, so we have the northern lights here. We have this absolute cleansing and decluttering and getting rid of the old. We have all of the energies of the cosmic helping us, the solar system, in our solar system and beyond, helping us move forward, that we can tap into. We have our own shadow, and we have humanity's shadow, and we have planetary shadow. All of these are allowing for us to explore and discover and transmute and transfigure our own shadow, and thereby that of our species, depending on how deeply one could go to that root of the root I've referred to. Just checking if there's anything else. And again, this magic that I'm referring to, and what looks to be really, really scary, very, very risky, because we have not done this as a human species before. We've gone through these cycles, yes, of going into the dark ages, for example, the Enlightenment conquered, and then a little bit, of freedom. But this has never happened in this way before. And it's never happened, in as far as my information from my guides, ever before in the universe, because of all the interrelatedness of locations, beings, energies within the universe being connected in and through in this one small little localized place, the earth. And the information, of us being in a hologram over and over and over again, this comes true. That one change that we make is felt by the whole. Um, and again, please make note of or be aware of the different cultures that are coming forth, whether they be ancient or not. Um, for example, this week I came across an article um, about the Ubuntu. And if you notice on my page, I spoke about, magic turning up all over the place. And with the Ubuntu, that is a culture that does not comprehend, it doesn't see in their worldview the small pieces or the breaking down of things into pieces, but they only know of the whole, much like many indigenous tribes only work from a basis of all our relatives. Everything is related. We are all relatives. Or the idea that what anything that one chooses to do or moves they make, that they take into consideration, account, and of the entire tribe before that choice is being made. And so this risk of doing something new that has never been done in the universe, the risk of doing something new in your life, the risk of doing something new within you, instead of, as I said, maybe learning how better ways to handle it, but instead to go in and clean very, very deeply and risk feeling what your defense system says is too big, too scary, too overwhelming. And it was for the child, but not for the adult. And to risk living from a place wherein you decide your world, you decide your life, you choose through your consciousness, not just your conscious, intelligent consciousness, but your entire consciousness, which includes your emotional body, your energy field, all of your helpers, your direct line of communication to your innate, which is your wider self. So yes, this cosmic web being the invisible scaffolding of the universe, and that we are weaving galaxies, we are weaving our lives, we are weaving this planet, the future of this planet. So it is a very exciting time, it is a very scary time, and so that's why courage has come forth so strongly right now. And those of you who have listened to these or attended any of the previous revolutionary revelations or ancient wisdom, know that as I've been citing things, naming things, calling them forth, acknowledging those energetics, those helpers, those factors that are in this alchemical crucible, and as it goes on, many of you who are energy sensitive know that the transmissions have started even as I was speaking. And so now they're getting, if you can feel them, if you just kind of allow yourself to come into your body, settle into your physicality on the chair or couch, and gently close your eyes without going up the top of your head or out your third eye, but instead to allow that energy and your helpers and your wider self and your physical body and your energy body to bring you down and inside you, into this inner verse. And when and as you do, feeling whatever you feel, however you will experience, you can experience the energetics as you too are sitting in this alchemical crucible, and things are turning and churning and blending and mixing and moving in directions up and down, within, inside out, even outside in. Not anything you have to track, not anything you have to know about, not anything you have to do whatsoever, but simply allow your inner verse to lead you. Not even having to follow the words, but just feeling, sensating, experiencing you, your body, your energy field, your emotions. And as you continue to allow your inner verse, your internal, your innate to lead, I'm going to call in a few more helpers and energetics. Such as, of course, Lady Gaia, and her internal world, her inner universe, her inner verse, which is the internal aspects of the earth, the core, the strata, the oceans, the forests, deep within the earth, not entirely woo-woo by any means. They recently discovered a forest under the earth. Oceans have absolutely been proven to exist. And allowing that movement and activity that is deep within you, or corresponds to the deeper places within you. Going to call in Mother Nature and all of the internal, invisible activity, growth, forward movement that is coming out of the land, the trees, the plants, the climatological movement that occurs cyclically. Course, within and underlying everything, not only on this planet but in the universe, are the magnificent elements of land, air, fire and water, not only calling them forth, but asking that they put in right relationship each of your physical, emotional, spiritual, and mental bodies. For each of the elements correspond to one of those aspects of our own body being: air, the mind; water, the emotions; earth, our land, our physical bodies; and fire, our spiritual body. And as always, I invite and call upon the 7 directions of east, west, south, north, above, below, and within. And I call upon the Universal Navigator to align each of your axes. Each of us have one axis, to be in alignment with your atlas, don't have to wrap your brain around that or know anything. Just feel, just sensate, just experience whatever is within you. And I invoke the new way of universal law to oversee and frame everything that is within this alchemical crucible, within those present, within those who will listen in future, all of their guides, teachers, masters, helpers. Knowing full well that all is done within law. Universal spiritual law. And as it is the first day of spring, I'm going to invite the plant and tree and flower masters through the Young Living essential oils to come forward. Those that have any information or energetics for us today. And this oil literally has cleansing in its name. or it implies the dispersion of any congestion. Enabling the gentle tranquility to enter your being. And the pure and noble communication from your wider self to you, allowing for that experience of security and safety within constant companioning and guidance from you to you, your wider you to your human you. And again, very ancient oil, cistus, bringing forward the deep high sense perception from your core, knowledge, intuition, to anchor deeply. It's like taking, one of those hooks on an anchor and cleaving it into the deep earth, creating stability and flexibility. When something's anchored, as you know, when there's an anchor, the ship can still bob and move and float, but it is anchored in one spot. So that the vital life force that is so inherent and natural in children can flow through you. And so they're speaking about and through the 5 C's of the feminine way that I mentioned. Connection, communication, collaboration, cooperation, and communion. When you have that within you, it allows you to do so with nature, with planetary aspects, with cosmic aspects, with your abilities and knowledge and talents from other existences you're connected to, other magical ways. experience some heat in different areas of your body. But if you don't, no worries, but there is beginning a process of cleansing and moving within your system. Movement. Some of you may be sensating movement within, for you know that you cannot clean, you cannot remove or declutter until you move things, whether it be in your home, whether it be in your computer, office, business, way of being. Movement leads the way. And again, you need not follow the words, the ideas, the concepts. I'm speaking for more directed or concentrated transmission of the energetics that are coming for you, to you. And that if you are in a deep trance state or theta state, that deep level of your consciousness knows that we are still in the alchemical energetic practice. I'm going to stay here for a minute or so. To embed deeply within you. The courage, the anchoring, the forward movement from the darkness of winter to the light of spring. From deep under the surface to breaching the surface, unfurling, blossoming, feminine way of connection, communication, cooperation, collaboration, and communion. Which allows for the magic of you, your magic, to appear quickly and do quickly. And allowing yourself to tune in and feel you, and feel whether it is right for you to stay in this container, to stay within the alchemical crucible at this moment, or whether it is time for you to move from what may have been experienced as a less physical reality to a more physical reality. So, if you'd like to stay in this state, continue to do so. If you are coming back to a more physical experience of this reality, then allow yourself to do so in your way, your pace, your timing. Don't force it. Don't start moving your physical body or opening your eyes or doing anything until and unless your internal system is indicating for you to do so. And again, this will be available on my YouTube channel, A Healer's Universe, within a short period of time. I have the upcoming Alchemical Magic Creation course starting beginning of April, so if you'd like to discover your way to retrieve more of you in these once a month classes and the subsequent support through the WhatsApp group, please reach out and let me know. And if you are at a point in your journey that you cannot do not wish to continue looping around and or staying at, the wall that you keep hitting again and again, or are finding that you just want to do you and be you completely, utterly in freedom and without fear, then please call me, write me to set up a one-on-one session, and or at least a conversation wherein it's a little mini healing we can do virtually. My information is accessible on the page, on my non-moving website. Um, please reach out. It's time. It's time for you to be who you truly are. Be all of you, full out, loud and proud. So, and bringing in your form of magic so that this world can be what it has the incredible potential to be. As always, it is with the deepest of honor, gratitude, and love for your presence here on the planet. Until next time, be well.